Welcome back to the JCPod, partner with Stare Down Sports, Stare Down Greatness. And man, people, we are officially 1 week away until the beginning of college football. Even if it is week 0 and it doesn't have the best of games, it's still here. And we are officially 3 weeks away from NFL week 1 commencing. We're basically here, people. I mean, it's a matter of 9 days from now, we're going to have a game on a Saturday. It's going to be a real game. I mean, it might be in Ireland, but we're going to have Iowa State, Kansas State. That's it. Oh, what is it? Week and 2 days away. We're that much closer to week 1 in college football, that much closer to week 1 in the NFL. I mean, it's going to be here before we know it. Today, it's going to be a fun one. I got some NFL news to go over since obviously I haven't been on for the week. Speaking of, apologize for not doing the show Tuesday. Won't lie to you, I just was not feeling... It was not going to be a good show if I did it. That's the best way to put it. I was not feeling too well. Mentally, it was kind of like in a fog, too. So it's just like, yeah, let's just save it for Thursday. So that's why instead of doing this Tuesday, we're doing it Thursday. And it's going to be a little fun one today. We got 6 teams I basically want to talk about when it comes to teams to watch for in the NFL. And that's after we talk about the news, of course. But these are 6 teams, whether good or bad. They're the teams that I have my eye on that, like, it could go basically, like, really good, or I could see it going, like, really, really bad. It might be one of those things where... we're just going to have to get into it. I'm not going to tease it anymore. But, like I said, we got some NFL news to talk about, so that's probably what we're going to lead it off with. Probably start next week with some more college football stuff. I mean, for sure, I would say probably not next week, but the following week we'll start going to 3 episodes a week. And that Monday will turn into a college football episode, Tuesday an NFL show. Wednesday will basically be my picks, bets, all that fun jazz. So, yeah, let's hop right into some NFL news. As of right now, sorry about that. Forgot to clear some storage up, so there might be a little bit of a weird cut. But anyway, like I said, we're getting into some NFL news. So, Najee Harris, he's officially back at practice. He's doing drills. He's doing walkthrough, basically getting ramped back up to get started. But the Chargers are non-committal for him playing in Week 1, which would mean a lot more carries are going to go the way of Omari and Hampton. When asked Friday, and this was last Friday, if there's a chance Harris isn't ready to go for Charger opener in Brazil, basically, Harbaugh said, yes, there's a chance that he's not ready. This is what Harbaugh had to say, though. He's like, I don't comment because I'm not a doctor. I'm not Mr. Harris' agent either. I'm talking about what I know. And can he open his eye? Yeah, I've looked into his eye. I can tell you stuff like that. It's just crazy that he's missing this much time because of the eye injury as well. So it makes you wonder, like, how serious of an injury it was. It sounded like he basically just cut the outer layer originally. But the fact that it's holding him out of practice this long, it's like, man, was it that serious of an injury? So, like I said, they're non-committal on him for Week 1, but the good news is for Omari and Hampton, that's probably allowed him to get more reps, get more opportunity that he might have not got otherwise, because we know, especially Harbaugh, he's one of those people like, hey, we're going to give it to the guy in the depth chart. Like, the veteran. We're going to give it to the veteran in the depth chart before we give it to the younger guy. So it's just nice to see that, yeah, he's basically going to be, Omari and Hampton at least is getting some reps. Yeah, that's basically all I have for that. Sorry, I was looking at 2 things I really wanted to bring up from this weekend preseason-wise. One is the Cam Little 70-yard field goal. Absolutely insane that we have kickers now that are just drilling 70-yarders with almost ease. I'm not going to say it's ease, obviously, because it takes hard work and it takes a shit ton of leg. But the fact that he drilled a 70-yarder is just unreal. And the second one is Travion Henderson. I was really happy to get Travion Henderson in fantasy. This dude just keeps making plays, and I'm not liking him keep making plays because the more plays he makes, it just means he go higher and higher and higher in fantasy drafts. Then I'm not going to like that. But it's also the main thing I want to bring up is looking like Travion Henderson is going to be a guy for New England and a guy that they're really happy that they drafted. AR is back at practice. He basically, I think, missed maybe 1, maybe 2 practices at most, and then he's at least back to practicing with his pinky injury. Sounds like everything's going to be fine there. It's just... the only thing that has me concerned as a fan of the Colts is, from all my understanding and my understanding of football, from my understanding, I guess I should rephrase it, from my understanding of football and all I've understood about what the reads were in the play and everything, that was an Anthony Richardson read where he needs to realize, like, hey, it's hot, I have to throw it to the running back, he'll be wide open. But, yeah, if that's the case, it's like, missing reads like that, obviously it's going to happen. He's a young guy. Still time to grow, but it's just like, man, you don't like seeing that, especially in the preseason. So, seems like he's going to be good, but I don't think there's really an answer on what's going on there when it comes to the QB battle between him and Daniel Jones. Jaden Reed is dealing with a sprained left foot, and he's apparently unclear for week. It's unclear if he's going to play for week 1. Basically, he spotted in a walking boot this Saturday in the preseason game against the Jets. LaFleur came out and said hopefully we get him back before the regular season, which is, I think anytime you see a guy in a boot that's a concern. I think what's a concern is the fact that you say hopefully we get him back before the season. So that obviously is saying something where it's like, yeah, he might miss week 1, maybe even a couple more weeks after that. You never like to see this too, especially for me personally, some of the biggest injuries I hate to see in the preseason are like ankle injuries, feet injuries, hamstring injuries, like anything leg-wise. It's just like, man, because if it's at least an upper body, you can kind of get away with like, the guy's like, he can still bike, he can still maybe do some other stuff to keep himself in shape and keep himself ready. If you do a foot, I mean, you're basically down for the count, hamstring, stuff like that, you're kind of down. So it's like, he's missing time, missing reps, and he's missing a chance to like stay in shape, stay ready. So hopefully he's going to be all good. But yeah, there's a good chance that, he might not play in week 1. Tyjae Spears is also going to be sidelined for a few weeks with an ankle sprain. His is an ankle sprain, but I guess he's also going to be sidelined. Is the way I was trying to say it. He's going to miss the remainder of the preseason, but another situation. Hope to get him back for week 1. They don't play till September 7th, which I believe is the same for the Packers this year. So, I mean, we still got, about 23, 24 days left for it to heal. So, especially for an ankle sprain, as long as it's a lower ankle sprain, then you'll probably be good. But if it's a higher ankle sprain, that's definitely one where it's like, yeah, he might be at risk of missing that week 1, which would not be the best. But speaking of a guy missing time, Alexander Mattison, man, this one sucks. If you saw, he took a very, very awkward fall. Or not awkward fall, I guess he got tackled. But he took a very awkward tackle, landed on his neck weird, kind of laid there for a minute. Season's over, and he's going to now have neck surgery, which is like, oh, holy shit. That is actually like really, really scary, especially come the fall I take. I don't know if his career's over. I assume it's not. I mean, but you never know with something like that. And I don't want to make assumptions to begin with, but the nice part is it did come out 2 days ago that he got moved to injury reserve, and it's not career ending at least, which is the nice part. It says that he suffered the neck injury, blah, 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 and it will cause him to miss the entire 2025 season. It's encouraging, though, the running back may return in 2026. He only inked the 1-year deal, though, this offseason, so he might have to go to another team. Which really just sucks for him, because it seemed like he was actually playing like pretty decent, and he was having a chance to maybe even win the backup role. He was sure playing better than Jalen Wright, so he was at least going to be, and so that probably I think put him in line for second string. Now it's going to be between Jalen Wright and Ollie Gordon, who's going to be the backup behind Devon Achane. If I had to guess, it's probably going to be Ollie Gordon. He was drafted a little bit later, but Ollie Gordon really had some bursts 2 years ago before he just had a really, really rough season last year for Oklahoma State. But yeah, it really sucks for Alexander Mattison. Because like I said, his season's just over. And he's on a 1-year deal. So it's like a 1-year kind of prove-it deal. And now it's like, okay. He's going to be gone for a year. It's going to be interesting to see, like, all right, does the team give him another chance? Jermaine Johnson is going to be activated from the PUP list. And this is coming 11 months after his torn Achilles. He tore it last year in week 2. So I'm sure the Jets are really excited to get him back, especially because we might talk about him a little bit more later. They're going to be an interesting team this year. Really, really, it's like I don't know if it's a good interesting or bad interesting, but they're going to be an interesting team this year. Landon Dickerson, he's going to have knee surgery. He plans to be back for the season opener, but we're going to have to see. He's having repair on his meniscus and his right knee. Apparently, he had issues with knee injuries in college, but since he's been in the pros, he's been doing really, really well. He injured it originally during team drills at practice. So obviously that's not a good sign, but the fact they're saying he has a chance to be back for the season opener is good, because at least we know he's probably going to play the majority of the season, even if he misses like a week or two. And the fact they haven't put him on IR right away makes it sound like, all right, so at worst it's probably a 2-week injury, and he should be back by the 3rd, if not the 4th week. He started 62 games in his 4-year career. I mean, he's been really, really good for them. You're looking at Kenyon Green, Matt Pryor, Brett Toth, and Trevor Keegan as some potential backups for him. I don't know how exactly the depth chart is for the Eagles. Won't exactly lie. But nice part is, like I said, he should be back sometime for the season, which the Eagles will definitely need. As a team looking to go back-to-back, he's a huge part of their offensive line, so they would love to have him back and not have him dealing with any injuries. Cam Hayward is right now currently holding out of practice. don't even know if he's doing individual drills, to be honest, but he's at least wanting a better contract. I'll admit, at first, I was kind of a bit skeptical. Like, dude, well, you just got an extension last year. Why are you trying to get another extension now? All that stuff he came out and said about the Steelers, like, if you want to be here, then you want to be here, all that stuff. Then you learned a little bit more, like, okay, he did say to the Steelers, like, if I have an all-pro, because he didn't have the best of years last year. He's like, if I have an all-pro year, I'm coming back to the table. He had an all-pro year. And along with that, if you look at his position based on, like, sacks and stats and all that, he's honestly getting a really, really market deal. The only two guys around him sack-wise, I forget, it's DeForest Buckner and I can't remember the other dude, but it's another defensive tackle along with DeForest Buckner and Cam Hayward. They're basically the top 3 sack getters. And only guys have multiple, I think it's like 10 plus. It might be, I can't remember exactly, but a certain amount of sacks throughout the last like 2 or 3 years. It's him, DeForest Buckner, and somebody else. And DeForest Buckner and the other dude are making like 28, close to 30, like high 20s, low 30s in the millions. And Cam Hayward's making 14, 15 million a year. So after getting a little bit more of that, it's like, oh, okay, so that's not as bad as we thought it was. So he definitely just wants some money, but it makes sense, basically, is what I'm trying to say. But now it's just a question of, will they actually sign him to the deal? Will they just tell him to play with his deal? Move forward. I mean, regardless, it seems like a guy who's going to be a one-helmet guy. His dad played for the Steelers. He's been big in the Steelers community. I mean, I don't see him going away from the Steelers, but I think they'll get this deal done. It's just a matter of how much. They're probably going to, if I had to guess, probably going to be low 20s potentially because of the age issue and everything. But I do think they'll probably give him at least some type of contract because it feels like a year, especially for the Steelers, where they're trying to go all in. They're trying to basically empty every bullet in the clip because there's a lot of question marks. Like, is Cam Hayward going to play many more years? Once Aaron Rodgers leaves, are they just going to reboot it officially? Their team's pretty old and pretty veteran, so it just feels like they're going to get this deal done at some point. It's just a matter of how much money, how many years. This is probably not good news for the 49ers. Brandon Ayuk is returning 49ers are eyeing a Week 6 return for Brandon Ayuk. He suffered the ACL and MCL last year. He won't commit to a specific date. He said Monday that he hopes Ayuk will be back on the field mid-season along with Malik Mustafa and Curtis Rourke. And this is the exact quote. He said, I kind of view all those guys around the same time. Whether it's Mustafa, whether it's Rourke, whether it's Brandon, they're all at different stages. But where they're at, I always see them around Week 6, which means that could be Week 10, which means it could be Week 5. But that's the area which I'm starting to think about, which is a long ways away. So, yeah, regardless, if we're going to see him until Week 6, I mean, that's what? October 12th. The 49ers will play the Bucs that week. I mean, yeah, Ayuk missed the final 10 games last year dealing with his knee injury. I mean, yeah, if he's not coming, he's probably not coming back to like mid to late October then. So that's gonna be a rough start to the season. Fantasy wise, I mean, I guess I just have to yawn. I won't lie to you. I stepped away 3 different times to yawn off screen, and then it just doesn't matter. So I'm just gonna make an ass of myself and yawn. But we are here to talk about me yawning. Ayuk wise, yeah, the fact that he's gonna make Week 6. Personally, for me, that immediately takes him off my fantasy board. That's first thought. I was like, all right, fantasy board, he's off. Fantasy-wise, makes me like George Kittle a little bit more. But, man, that's going to be a tough receiver room. If Ricky Pearsall does not step forward, if Juwan Jennings, I don't know if he's still hurt. I don't know what's going on with him with his contract. But that's a situation now where the 49ers are probably going to want to really get that figured out. I mean, I'm not sure exactly what is going on with the Juwan Johnson situation, but yeah, this Juwan Johnson situation doesn't get figured out. I mean, you got Ricky Pearsall there, obviously. You got George Kittle, but I mean, after that, it starts to get like, because I think they have Demarcus Robinson as well, but he's dealing with an issue when it comes to, I mean, their wide receiver room is just, it's a suspension. It's not an injury, it's a suspension. Their receiver room is just, it's tough. I mean, Isaac Guerendo's dealing with a shoulder injury. They just put Amir Abdullah on IR. Jordan James is dealing with a finger issue. Yeah, wide receiver wise, I mean, Juwan Jennings dealing with a calf. You got Demarcus Robinson who's going to deal with a Jordan Watkins dealing with an injury. The suspension for they got Russell Gage, they got Hodgins, Luke Farrell. I mean, yeah, I have Ricky Pearsall, like I said. I mean, I really don't know what to expect from the wide receiver room. So this is one of the things where it's like, man, they'll be really happy to get Ayuk back, but two, I think they're going to be really, really more ecstatic to figure out this Juwan Johnson situation and get a little bit more help. James Cook signed a 4-year, $48 million deal. Good for him, man. Glad we finally got this done. I wasn't for sure if it was going to get done. I figured it would, but I'll admit there's a part of me that's like, are they going to do it? Because they do have two other backs, but James Cook is clearly the best back between the three. So bringing him back, I think, makes this deal that much better. There was a video of him appearing at practice, I want to say Tuesday. And then literally the next day or later that day, they announced, hey, he signed this massive, massive deal. So shout out to him. It's a little bit of a weird strategy holding out wise, but it worked. So that's all that matters. He got paid. He's going to be back. It's going to be good. I think it's going to be a pretty good year for the Bills. This feels like one of their best chances to get over that Chiefs hump and make it to the next level, but we'll just have to see. But hey, bringing back Cook, good start of it. They signed a lot of their, I think they spent $1.2 billion in signing a lot of their guys back. And if you remember, it was about 2 years ago, they got rid of like the Jordan Poyers, bunch of those guys where they just got rid of them to bring in the new era. It's officially the new era of the Bills. But now it's just a question of like, okay, let's see if they can take that next step forward. Jordan Love is dealing with a thumb injury. He underwent thumb surgery. He's expected to play in week 1. It's on his non-throwing hand, so that's a nice part. They're hoping he'll be back at practice as of next week. This came out 2 days ago, so Monday. He's basically taking off this week with the injury. Should hopefully be back next week. It should be ready to go by September 7th. But, I mean, it's one of those things that he wanted to go out there yesterday, kind of see how it felt. Once we got through that, we made the decision that we should meet us in Indianapolis on Wednesday. Because I believe they have joint practices with the Colts ahead of their preseason game. But, yeah, it sounds like he's going to be okay by the start of the season. It's just one of those things where it's like we might see more handoffs to one certain side of the line than the other, and there might be a chance where he doesn't throw it nearly as much. But, yeah, I mean, for the most part, it seems like it should be fine. It's just injury on his the fact that it's non-throwing hand is huge. So I think he's going to be fine by the time the season gets around. It's just a matter of, all right, we'll have to see. It's basically come from him hitting his thumb on somebody's helmet while throwing. And I think it came on literally either the last, I don't know if that was the last play he was in or if it was the final last play, but regardless, it's the last play he's in. So it's just like, horrible timing. Tyrod Taylor is going to have a minor knee surgery, so he's going to miss the rest of the preseason. He should be ready for the preseason opener. He is the backup for Justin Fields. So, yep. That's something to keep an eye on there. Rondale Moore. Before we get to the Rondale Moore thing, the court of Nevada, the NFL appeals Nevada's court ruling to allow Gruden's lawsuit to proceed. So basically, it sounds like there was about 600,000. I think it was about 600,000 emails that went out forever ago when that John Gruden thing happened, and only John Gruden's emails got released. So pretty much what this was, from my understanding, what's happening now is pretty much Gruden got permission by the courts to be like, hey, we can take this to court now. We can have all these emails aired out. So pretty much this is coming down to like NFL's either going to let him back in or the NFL's going to let all these documents get read into a court, which, for being honest, NFL probably doesn't even want that to happen, even if there's nothing to hide or not. So there's a good chance they find some type of settling with Gruden. It's going to be interesting. There's a lot of rumors about him going to the SEC next year. And there's a good chance there's going to be a good amount of SEC jobs that are up for bid, especially if some teams there's a lot of teams in the SEC on quit watch this year and might have new coaches. So this Gruden situation is one going to be keeping an eye on because there's a chance, like I said, he might end up coaching the SEC next year. Rondale Moore is going to miss his second season in a row now with a knee injury. Vikings announced Tuesday the testing on Moore's knee confirmed a season-ending injury without specifying diagnosis. So it could be MCL, LCL, patellar tendon. Who knows? It could even be something a lot less than that, but who knows? We just know it's a knee injury. He was hurt while returning a punt, apparently in the first expedition game. I'll admit, I did not see this. So this is what Kevin Connell had to say. Sorry, I just have to read the code a little bit. I make a life out of trying to leave others better than I found them. And in that situation, there's nothing I can do, there's nothing to do or nothing I can do, which is the worst feeling as a head coach. She just counsel them and make sure that he knows he's not going to be alone. He came out of Purdue in 2021. I mean, he's a really good player, man. Quick, speedy guy, but also like a really, really good receiver. Like he's not just your quick, speedy guy. He's an actual like really good receiver. So to see him getting derailed by injuries back here just sucks. Because now it's just a matter of like, all right, is he even going to be the same player anymore? What's going on with that? Just a tough situation, man. Horrible situation for the guy, too. You feel really bad for him. Two more things I want to bring up. First one, Rashee Rice. His hearing sounds like it's going to be on September 30th. Bryce will likely be able to play the first 4 weeks of the season before any potential discipline gets imposed, which I'm not going to lie. That's gonna be weird, man. So you get to sorry, I was trying to accidentally clicked on something and opened up something wrong. But if you look at this, so it's like, man, he's really gonna be, so he's gonna get to play for 3 or 4 weeks, maybe even 5 weeks. Then he might get like a 4 or 5 game suspension, maybe 6 game. That's gonna be strange, man. If I was in, I mean, I don't know. Obviously, they can't force a court ruling to move up or anything, but if anything, I think they should just. I guess I know why they shouldn't, but if he was going to sit out games, they should just make him sit out those 4 games and be like, all right, you've served 4, your 6 game suspension, but obviously they can't do that because then what if he gets told, hey, there's no suspension there? I mean, you could just pay him back his money, but it's just a weird situation regardless. So the fact that he is going to play is just going to be strange. He had a torn LCL in September last year. He's expected to be ready for their season opener. It just stinks. This is a guy who's was really talented in the little bit of time he had with them before he left with injury, and then he had this whole issue with the with his car and all that. Yeah, so we're just like I said, another situation to keep an eye on, just because man, he'll be able to play the first 4 weeks, and then the 5th week is when he get the rolling. I mean, he's probably gonna get suspended. It's just a matter of how many games, and now at this point it's just gonna be weird. Final thing I want to talk about, we haven't really talked about in this whole, is the Breece Hall situation. So Breece Hall came out and said this when it comes to Kyrie Williams and James Cook. They've done more in the league than I have. He said they've been in better situations, and they both are very good players for me. I just feel like I'm as talented as anyone, but those guys are 2 really good running backs, and they deserve their payday. I'm happy for them. This was a really good answer by Breece Hall, who basically took a shot at his team, as well as promoting other guys and promoting running backs getting paid. And the reason I want to bring this up is because I'm not sure how many people are aware of this, but I think Breece Hall is walking next year. It's supposed to be a time split this year, so all you fantasy people, this is something to keep in the back of your minds if you're kind of in on Breece Hall. It's supposed to be a timeshare, and there might even be 3 guys getting involved. I believe Isaiah Davis might be his name, number 32. They got Davis for them, they got Braylon Allen, and they got Breece Hall. And it sounds like all 3 are going to get time. Now, Breece Hall will be the starter, maybe get like a 60-30-10. There's a chance. Could it be 50-40-20? That's not even the right math. 50-40-10? Could be. I genuinely have no idea how the carries are going to go. I just know New York has come out they've basically come out and they've shown it how it's going to be a timeshare. And Breece Hall isn't technically their guy in this new era, so I'm not going to be shocked at all if they move on from him. And it sounds like he's playing for a contract this year, and he sounds like he's not enjoying his time there. So it sounds like Breece Hall is going to be done at the end of the year. So we're going to get a player that's going to play hard, but we don't know how many plays he's going to get, and we don't know what the timeshare is fully going to look like yet. We just know it's probably going to be a timeshare. And then it's going to be a question of all right, where does Breece Hall go from here? Because I think there is a lot of teams that view this situation as, it's not totally Breece Hall's fault, but regardless, Breece Hall's a good pass catcher. I thought he was a really good running back. I'm still butthurt about that. Him and Javonte Williams, man, those are the 2 that broke my heart. 2 of my young running backs that broke my heart. Got them both in their first years when they were I believe Breece Hall's injury was in his first year. Can't fully remember when he got injured, but the year that Breece Hall got injured, I remember having him. So, yep, that's what it was, 7 games into his rookie season. I remember I had him and Javonte Williams. I think it was the same year. And these dudes were just studs for me, and then both of them tear their ACLs. It's just like, no, man, no. It was tough. Especially I remember that Breece Hall one. That was tough because he had such an awesome start to his career. But like I said, I expect him to be probably going to another team, and I think that team's going to really value him because he's a really good running back. But that's going to do it for the NFL news portion today. Now, these are 6 teams to watch out for. By watch out for, I mean it can go good, it can go bad. I will elaborate on it a little bit more as we go into it for each team specifically. But if I had to say off the top of my head, I would say there's 2 for sure that I think are going to be good situations. 2 I'm unsure of. Probably 2, 1, 2, 3. I would say probably. And then one for sure that's probably going to be bad. 2 to 3 I'm kind of unsure of. And then 1 to 2 that I'm like, oh yeah, those would be really, really good situations. So we'll start with the first one, the Patriots. I do think this is a team that we should watch out for the next season because I think they're going to have a really good season. And even if they don't take that full step forward this year, they're going to take enough of the steps where next year is going to be that much better. A lot of the stuff we've seen out of it's just going to come down to Drake May and just some of those dumb mistakes he likes to make. There's just a couple. I mean, everyone has it. There are issues like 3 or 4 plays that they make where it's just like, if we could get that out of you, man, you'd be so good. But a lot of stuff I'm seeing out of campus, he's doing a lot better, doing good at the reads, not making as many poor decisions. I mean, there's still some of the poor decision stuff there, but especially with Mike Vrabel around, which is a massive upgrade and why I like this team so much as well. You would think that that's going to get nipped in the bud a little bit. I'll admit, Drake May is somebody I'm in on fantasy as well. Like, I'm really excited for this Patriots team, and I'll admit, I, as a Colts fan, hated the Patriots for a long time. Now I'll admit I can separate the Patriots and Tom Brady and Belichick, which is more of its own category now. So I'm very excited to watch this Patriots team and kind of figure out, like, all right, let's see what Drake May is. And another thing we talked about a little bit earlier with Trevion Henderson. I mean, that dude is balling out, man. And the fact that Trevion Henderson's balling, like I said, I hate it for fantasy, but I think it's good for this team because it separates him from Ramondre that much more. And, I mean, this team has pretty decent receivers. I think their defense is going to be good, and it's only going to get better as they step up. I mean, they got some nasty DBs on that side. I mean, this Patriots team, I think a lot of people project them to be good, but I would not be shocked this is a playoff team. Now, they'll probably win max 2 games in the playoffs. I'd probably assume just 1 at best this year, but I do think it's a team that they'll get better. They're going to get better as the years go on. I think that hiring Vrabel was a massive upgrade of coaching over Gerard Mayo, who just didn't seem ready for the job, honestly. That's the best way to put it. He just did not seem ready to be an NFL head coach. We know what Mike Vrabel can do. I think the special teams for the Pats will take a huge step up. Defense will take a huge step up. Basically, a lot of the dumb mistakes that happened last year, we're going to see them cut out a lot, which I think will go a long way for the Pats. And like I said, I just expect them to be a lot better than they were last year. I would say this is a team probably 9-8, 10-7, loses 1 game in the playoff, loses either in the wild card or divisional. I don't think they're going to make a deep playoff run, but I do think this is a team where they finally get their feet a little bit wet in the playoffs market and getting a lot of wins market. I mean, this is the beginning of the Drake May era, I believe, because I think Drake May is going to be really good, and this is a team that I think can do a lot. Next team I want to talk about. Yeah, like I said, these aren't going to be super long. I'm not going to spend 30 minutes on each team. Like, I just like quick little notes of teams that I like. Next one is the Jets. I'll admit, this might be more of a bad than good, but I know this team has an oh, sorry about that. We're good. I almost had a sneeze. My nose itched for a second. Itched it a couple times, and I felt that sneeze coming. So it's like, come on, let's not sneeze, please. We're not sneezing. We're good. Anyway, though, the Jets, like I said, I do think their defense is going to be really good. I think the run game is going to be, I don't want to say special, but I think they're going to have a really good run game, especially with Justin Fields starting at their quarterback. And like I said, they got Breece Hall, they got Braylon Allen, they got Isaiah Davis, Garrett Wilson at wide receiver. I mean, so this is a team offensively. They're going to be decent. Defensively, I think is where they're going to hang their hat on. I mean, I think how they're going to win majority of the games is defense and running the football. I mean, obviously they can throw it a little bit, but I think they're going to have to find ways to open it up with the run game. And I mean, Justin Fields, we saw in the one preseason game, he had the running back open on that little, I guess it was a drag that turned into a, I don't even know how you would describe it. It's basically a drag that just turned upfield, and basically it would be like a wheel, I guess is the best way to put it. A drag that kind of turned into a wheel, but we saw that. He could have maybe thrown it there. Justin Fields run it in. He still has his legs. Justin Fields still makes a lot of great plays with his legs. So the thing I'm going to be interested in watching about this team is the running game. I'm curious to see how the running game is going to turn out. Like I said, Breece Hall's on a contract year as well, so I think he's going to run really hard. And then defensively, what are we going to get out of this team defensively? I don't think this is going to be a team that makes the playoffs per se, but I mean, there's probably won 7 or 8 games. But I think this is just going to be a team that every team's going to hate to play in their schedule because it's like, here we go again. We got to deal with the Jets and their stupid ass defense and their run game. And I'm just like, let me just go with their schedule real quick just to give you some of my thoughts. But yeah, so I mean, you got Steelers, Bills, Bucks, Dolphins, Cowboys, Broncos, Panthers, Bengals, Browns, Patriots, Ravens, Falcons, Dolphins, Jags, Saints, Patriots, Bills. A lot of teams are like the Bengals. They might be able to run all over the Bengals. So that could be one. Cowboys, they might be able to run over them. Dolphins, potentially there. Like, there's a lot of teams where they can really, get the run game potentially going. They might even be able to do it against the Panthers. Broncos might be a little bit tougher. But, I mean, and I'm not saying they're going to win any of these games, by the way. I'm not saying these are guaranteed locks. They're going to win these games. But I do think between the defensive running combo, I think there is a chance they might be able to find some magic. But that's just what I'm intrigued in about the Jets. The next team. My team, the Indianapolis Colts. Shout out to my boy Rowan for the custom shirt. If you're wondering what that is, that's a revolving door. Because the Colts have had a revolving door at quarterback since 2019. Since 2019, it's just been get a guy in, next guy, get a guy in, next guy, get a guy in, next guy, get a guy in, next guy. It's literally turning into the... I remember laughing as a teenager at that Browns jersey that just kept getting longer with the names. I mean, let's be honest, still kind of going. But I kept getting, like, all those names, and now it's like, man, the Colts are starting to kind of follow that a little bit themselves. But so the reason I like the Colts so much is I think this is the best team the Colts have had in... Probably in... I want to argue maybe since 2019. This might be the best team they have had since 2019. I mean, you look at the roster. We'll talk about the quarterback situation last, since it's obviously the most important one. But I mean, Ulysses Bentley. What a name, dog. I'm not going to lie. He just had a great name. I love DJ Giddens as well. But we got like Jonathan Taylor, Tyler Goodson, DJ Giddens. I guess Khalil Herbert's there, but I genuinely don't know if he's going to make the team. Especially because he's dealing with... an injury now, so it's undisclosed, but I don't know what they're going to do with him. But like I said, running back wise, you got Jonathan Taylor, and you got a few guys behind him. Receiver wise, I mean, Josh Downs, Michael Pittman, Mo Alley Cox, Adonai Mitchell, Tyler Warren. What's wrong with DJ Montgomery? He's going to miss the entire 2025 season? Aww. That stinks. And this article's wrong because they said that DJ Montgomery hasn't seen any regular season action since 2023. That's false. He literally played last year, but good to know. But I mean, like, offensively, like I said, their line, a little bit, I'm not going to say, maybe if anything, the line might be a slight bit downgrade. I mean, defensively, they got corners this year. I'm not going to go over their whole depth chart. I was about to, but I'm like, we don't need to do that. But if you look at this Colts team, this is a team that has gotten a lot better over the last... Like this past offseason, they finally spent in the free agency too. They got some cornerbacks. It's just going to come down to the quarterback, man. You got Jason Bean, Riley Leonard, Aaron Jones, Anthony Richardson, Daniel Jones. I don't know who's going to win the job. I hope Anthony Richardson wins the job because you can always bring in Daniel Jones if he gets hurt, but I think if you start with... I don't know, man. It's tough because if you start with Anthony Richardson, you hopefully don't have to bench him again. That means he figures himself out. So if Anthony Richardson starts, it just means he's winning the battle in camp. He looks a little bit better than Daniel Jones. There's just so much hope. We kind of know what Daniel Jones is. Daniel Jones can make some good plays, but we know what's there. Anthony Richardson, we've just seen flashes here and there. There's so much potential with that kid, man. It's just so frustrating because he's so young. He finally seems like starting to realize what's happening. It's just sucks. It's like this is kind of the prove it year, man. And I can see this Colts team going 10-7. I can see it being 9-8. I can see it being 7-10. I mean, it could go so many different ways. Their schedule is definitely a little bit easier for them when it comes to that aspect of it. But it's all going to come down to quarterback, man. I'd be lying to you if I said I wasn't nervous for this team because Jim Irsay did pass away. So there's a chance that Shane Steichen gets fired. Chris Ballard is gone, and this team completely rebuilds and blows it up. Or there's a chance that, hey, if they did find some winning, they keep some of these veteran guys a little bit longer, like DeForest Buckner, like Kenny Moore, and they keep building towards something greater. That's basically what I'm most intrigued about. Why you're watching for the Colts this year. I'll do that after each team. Why you're watching for the Patriots this year. Do they take the next step forward under Vrabel and become the team that everyone's kind of predicting to be this year? For the Jets, what do you watch for? Can they be competitive in games and actually have an identity of run game and defense? For the Colts, what are you watching for? Are the Colts going to be rebuilding, or are they rebuilding for the future, or have the Colts kind of found their stride and now it's just upgrading? That's basically what I think you should be watching out for them. Because it comes down to the quarterback. Like I said, the wide receiver rise, I think the wide receiver room is good enough, especially now what they added Tyler Warren. Defensively, the fact they added some DBs, it's one of the best. Like I said, this is one of the best teams they've had since 2019. So it's just a matter of hey, are you guys gonna be able to do it now, or is this year where it's all right, we just need to blow it up and rebuild because the Shane Steichen experiment failed. Chris Ballard just hasn't worked out. What are we expecting? I'd be lying to you if I said I had an answer. This is the first time in a while as a Colts fan. I don't know, man. I can't even give out optimism. It's just man, I do not know. So the next team I want to talk about, number 4-6, the Cardinals. This one it's literally simple. I think they've upgraded a lot from last year. I think they look a lot better. It comes down to Kyler Murray. That's as simple. This one is simple. What to watch for? Can Kyler Murray prove he's not who we think he is? I guess that's the best way to put it. Because I think there's a lot of people who think he's like, all right, he's a good quarterback, not a great quarterback. And I thought, shout out to Andy on the Fantasy Footballers. I thought he said it very well. He's kind of like a moody quarterback, where maybe like as personality-wise he might not be totally moody. Kind of sounds like he can be sometimes, because apparently reports were coming out that Kyler would just be like, yeah, I don't feel like running today, basically. And that's basically verbatim what the reports were saying. Like, he would just come and be like, I don't feel like doing this totally today. I don't feel totally comfortable doing this, blah, 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 all that stuff. So you just sit there and it's like, don't like the sound of your quarterback saying that and everything. Especially from a guy who, you can see from the shirt, you know who my quarterback was. Hate it, man. Still can't believe that happened. But, like I said, this all comes down to Kyler Murray. I mean, he did say he's going to run a lot more this season, which is something I'm excited for, because I think he does need to run a lot more to help out with his team and help open up the run game with his legs. But this one's really simple. It's just, I think the Cardinals are a lot more talented. I think they have a chance to actually potentially do something this year, especially between the schedule and how talented their defense is, how talented they are as an offense. It just comes down to the quarterback. Can their quarterback be slightly above average and help them win some of these games that they've struggled to win, or is it just be the same Kyler experiment every year, where the start of the year goes a little bit great, you look down for a little bit too long, look back up, and it's like, another mediocre season, really? I don't know. This thing, the literal image I cannot get out of my head, and I haven't got it out of my head since this happened, is Kyler Murray throwing a pick six, sitting on his ass while it's basically happens in the back. Their back's up in their own end. I think he's on like the 5-yard line, and he goes to throw a route. I don't know. I can't remember if he gets hit or whatnot. I'm assuming he had to get hit, but he ends up on his back. You see him sitting up. It's a pick six. Cardinals getting blown out as they leave the playoffs. That's basically been my memory of Kyler Murray, playoff-wise, ever since then. So it's just a matter of like, hey, the Cardinals, you guys got a chance this year. Can you actually be special and do something about it? Second to last team I want to talk about, the Giants. This is just for, are they going to be, and what to watch for? Are they really that bad? Question mark. Because you look, I'll admit, I don't think they're going to be, schedule-wise, I think they got boned. I think from the main reason I'm on their under, and I don't like a lot of their stuff, is one, Russell Wilson being a quarterback. Two, their schedule is absolutely horrid. I mean, that is a horrid schedule. We'll just read it off for the people who don't know officially about it, but I think the Giants are going to be like pains in the ass to play, especially when they have a lead. Because if they have a lead and they can use their pass rushers, then, oh my goodness, people. This defensive line, I mean, they got some studs on the defensive line. I'll read you that off before I go to their schedule. I mean, no questions about that. Let's just go over some of these defensive linemen. Dexter Lawrence. Raheem Nunez-Roches. They have them considered linebackers. Abdul Carter. Brian Burns. Kayvon Thibodeau. I mean, it's just a team where it's like defensively they might not be the best in the secondary, but front seven, they are really, really solid. It just comes down to, like I said, I don't trust their quarterback fully. I don't think they want Jackson Dart to play this year. I think they're hoping that they can at least sit him for a majority of the season, then bring him back a little bit later. But you go over their schedule, man. I mean, we're talking. This starts week 1. Commanders, Cowboys, Chiefs, Chargers, Saints. So in my opinion, they're going 0 for 4. Maybe they can get a win week 5. But then after the Saints, Eagles, Broncos, Eagles, 49ers, Bears, Packers, Lions, Patriots, bye. Commanders, Vikings, Raiders, Cowboys. I mean, that is a gauntlet of a schedule. I mean, they play the AFC North, NFC West, and they're playing, because the division was so good, they're playing, I mean, they get the 4, I think they technically get some of the teams, worst teams in division, but like, the worst teams in division this year are like the 49ers, who are, they're the worst. So they got the team from last year, obviously, because you know how it works. Last place team in the division, you play most of the last place teams, but you're getting the 49ers, who are last place team. Not only that, like I said, the AFC North and NFC West. You get the Patriots, who are the last place team. You get the Jets. I mean, it's just like, jeez Louise, man. It's gonna, I think, gonna be a really tough one for the Giants. So I'm just curious to see, like, can they stay close in some of these games? Do we see Jackson Dart at some point here in the near future? Because, like I said, I love their defensive line. I just think schedule-wise, it's like offensively, I love Malik Neighbors. I love Cam Scatterboo. It's just, can they do enough offensively to help their defense out? Over the season, I don't know. I think eventually once Jackson Dart comes in, they will be. I think Jackson Dart has a chance to stay. I like Jackson Dart. I think he'll be okay from what I've seen so far. Obviously, it's too early to for sure tell, but I do think he's going to. I mean, I don't know if this year he's better than Russell Wilson, but I think in 2-3 years for sure he'll be better than Russell Wilson right now. But yeah, you can't throw him out there right away, especially. And then another thing is Brian Daboll going to keep his job. That's another thing where it's like, man, I do not know. The final team I want to talk about, the team I'm probably most excited for, is the Panthers, because this team could go. This could go really either way for the Panthers. Like the Giants, I expect to be bad. Cardinals, I kind of expect to be bad. Wouldn't be shocked if they had a good season. Colts, kind of mediocre. Jets, kind of expect them to be bad-ish. Pats, I expect them to be kind of better. Panthers now, it's like... sorry, I thought that was actual news about Landon Dickerson. It was just something he's up to. Panthers, look at their schedule real quick. We got Jaguars, Cardinals, Falcons, Patriots, Dolphins, Cowboys, Jets, Bills, Packers, Saints, Falcons, 49ers, Rams, Week 14 bye. Saints, Bucks, Seahawks, Buccaneers. The Bills are the only team that I look at that schedule. Like, Bills, I would give them an instant loss. So there's one for sure loss. Cowboys, 49ers, I'll give them that loss. I mean, if we're being honest, Packers maybe there. I would say there's 4, maybe 5 for sure teams I go on that and be like, yeah, I think the Panthers are going to lose to them. Rest of these, though, I don't know. If Bryce Young could take that next step forward, I mean, they got some of the receivers this year. Their defense is going to be kind of bad again this year, but it's getting better. It's still really young, but it's getting better. I mean, they basically sold their whole... When they got rid of McCaffrey, and I think it was 21-22, they basically got rid of their whole defense as well. They've been kind of rebuilding since then, but they got some core pieces in places, like J.C. Horn. I mean, who else they got? Definitely not looking up the roster. J.C. Horn, Derek Brown, who's been there for forever for them. Yeah, I'm not gonna. They got some decent guys. That's the best way. That's the best way to put it. They got some decent guys, but obviously they have a long ways to go. But there's a team that's slowly worth building. I think offensively they're going to be a lot better than last year. Again, Dave Canales in year 2. I think that the second half of the season we saw from Bryce Young, if he can repeat that for most of the season, I think they will have a really good season this year. It's just a matter of, can Bryce Young take the next step forward? Can their defense be about middle-ish of the pack? And then can they just turn this franchise around? It's been in the dump for a minute, and it looks like they're finally starting to get the right pieces to get themselves back turned around. So basically, teams to watch for, what to watch for. For the Patriots, can they make that next step forward with Drake May and Mike Vrabel as head coach? Because, I mean, they have all the pieces are in place. Can they make the next step forward? For the Jets, can they finally find an identity? It feels like they haven't had an identity for so long. They're looking to be defensive run game, it looks like, this year. Can they find that identity? For the Colts, can they figure out the quarterback situation, or are we rebuilding? Can they figure out the quarterback situation, and are we taking a step forward or rebuilding? Because it truly feels like that this team could be on the verge of a rebuild here soon. For the Giants, are they as bad as we think they are is basically the thing to watch out for, because I think their defensive line is going to be pretty solid. It's just if you're down like 20 in some games, it's hard to pass rush. So it's just, are the Giants as bad as we think they are? Are the Panthers ready to ascend? That's my thing to watch out for them. Like, they have Bryce Young, drafted Tedero and McMillan. They still have Adam Thielen, still have Xavier Legette. Offensively, they signed Chuba Hubbard to a deal. Defensively, they're a little bit weaker, but it seems like they might be getting a slight bit better. So it's just hey, can they take the next step forward to be a better team? And then for the Cardinals, can Kyler Murray what are we watching for? Can we watch for Kyler Murray just to be above average? And I think if he's above average and consistently above average, that's the key. If he can consistently be above average for majority of the games, I think that's a team that has a chance to go pretty far. Thank you all for watching today's report. I really do appreciate it. I will be back in this feed next week on Tuesday just to go over some more NFL news, action from the weekend, all that stuff. And then next Thursday, man, we're going to talk Week 0, man. Week 0 is here. We got some actual games for actual records. Now, while it might not be the NFL, we still show love to college, man. And college has some games popping off next week. Really, really excited to talk about those. I can't wait, man. I'm so excited to talk about those. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for the support. I really do appreciate it. I will see everyone back in this feed on Tuesday to go over some NFL news, all that fun jazz. And then next Thursday, man, the first official JC picks for the season.